Hello, 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 hello. It is Tuesday. Another Tuesday, another week, of course. Hope your day and maybe even your week has been great so far. Hope you enjoyed your Tuesday. Today, we're going to do something special, actually. We're going to do something a little bit different. We've done it once before, but we're going to do it again. This time, actually, with a new trick that I'm going to show you. So let's go into the summary so I can show you what we're going to do today. Hello, hello, hello. So, first of all, what you can see, 30-minute quick sketch. Yeah, that's the first topic, as always. And of course, if you want to see only one of these topics, I'm going to put timestamps in the description and also on the timeline. So you don't need to, click around and kind of search for it. If only one topic is interesting for you. First topic, of course, is always the 30-minute quick sketch. Every stream, we're going to do a 30-minute quick sketch in the beginning. The overall process with post-production and then posting the image will roughly take an hour, maybe 50 minutes. And then we're going to go into the next topic, which is from 2D sketch to 3D model, or also I'm going to show you a new way to model hair. I've been thinking kind of about the stylized hair modeling process, and I was kind of thinking whether or not there is a better way to do it. So, or at least like a good alternative to what we already have. So usually you work with curves, for example. You use these handles and all that to shape these curves with a bevel on it into hair strands, basically. And I think I have a good, maybe not really like it is a good alternative, but also maybe a good addition to work even more intuitive and way easier than we're using curves. Curves kind of, for me at least, always seems kind of weird to work with. And I think this technique that I want to show you today hopefully makes everything easier for you, or at least part of it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna continue and hopefully almost finish the model or the project that we started last week, which is the recreation of a 2D sketch in 3D. Yesterday we finished the clothing, or almost the clothing. We have to add one more piece, which shouldn't take too long. And then afterwards we can go into the hair. We're gonna sculpt the hair first to kind of prepare the hair, the main bulk of the hair, and then we're gonna add some more strands with this new technique that I want to show you. That's gonna be those are the topics for today. Yeah, if you want to only see one of these two, you can just go ahead and go into the timeline, and you should see a timestamp for this topic, for example. I mean, the other one would come next. So yeah, let's go to Blender so we can start the quick sketch. There you go. So first of all, I have my references already here. Hold on, there it is. So those, oh, you can't see them. Well, I can show them to you anyway. I'm just going to leave them here. Yeah. So today we're going to do the same that we've done yesterday, which we're also probably going to do throughout the whole month, which is sculpting for different, animals or whatever. Yesterday we sculpted some sort of like magical, I guess, fantasy creature. Full body, actually. This time I want to do only the head, just because I kind of realized that if I do a full body animal, for example, it just takes too long to set up the base, that I don't really have any time to do anything else than the base. No, I can add any detail, which of course makes it look quite boring. So today I want to focus more on stuff like only the head. So I have some more time to focus on the head itself, give that some more detail. I would rather put my attention to a single, the head, for example, rather than making the whole full body. Although maybe a full body shot might look cooler, but of course, if we can't add any detail, then I think only a head with detail would look better than like a head or a full body without detail. So yeah, Blender's already ready. We don't need this light. We have the sculpt. With these sculpts, what I want to do, usually what I do is I include the lighting into my quick sketch process. Usually that's what I've done in the past. before I started sculpting, but I think the lighting process for these sculpts isn't really a part of the modeling process necessarily, so I'm gonna exclude it and do it afterwards. I already have a scene prepared just to work in there and to use that scene for the lighting, so I don't really have to do much. I just have to import it. So yeah, that shouldn't be a big I'm just gonna exclude that from the overall sculpting process. So without further ado, I'm just gonna make sure everything's ready. Let's go into sculpting, set all the settings right. We don't need this. We also need dynamic topology. Set that to constant detail and 20. I always start with 20 and then symmetry on. Perfect. Okay. So, okay. We are ready to go. So I would say, let me just let me just quickly hit start recording and then we can start. Okay. Oh, we have to start the timer as well. Okay. So hopefully you are ready. I am ready, definitely. The timer is ready. And the ball that we're going to use, the ball of clay, is also ready. So I would say 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we have the ball of clay. What I want to do is I'm going to make this an animal. An animal needs like a nose, I guess, or like a snout, I think you call it. We have to pull this forward. We're going to use the snake hook for that. There you go. Not too far, actually. Maybe like this. Then we're going to shape this a little bit before we continue with the rest. There you go. Pull this. Oh, maybe a little bit. That looks kind of weird, but you know, everything in the beginning looks weird. We're actually going to do like a similar shape to what we've done yesterday. Oh, there you go. Make a nose. Good thing is, if I use these tools with big brush strength sizes, it's easier to do changes, which is of course important in the beginning. There you go. I actually want to make this open, the mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that right there. I'm going to make a new bottom mouth piece. There you go, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this with my mask tool. There you go. Invert. Grab my snake hook and pull it out again. Okay, well. I think this also has to be further down. Oh, that's a wide mouth. Oh, smoothing it a little bit. There you go. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this lower. There you go. Okay. So now, of course, I have to first of all set the base mesh. I have to create the base mesh first before I can do anything else. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then once we have the base mesh, we can go into more detail. But before we have any of that, we can't really do anything else. So, you know, let's set the base mesh first. So we have these eyes here. We also have the cheekbones right here somewhere, roughly, I think. I have some references, as I said before, but, you know, not the best at modeling or sculpting animals, so I kind of have to learn myself. Okay, go back here, change a few things. There you go. Okay, so first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a hole right here, just to kind of set the, you know, mark where the eyes will be. Actually, the eyes are actually too big. This is supposed to be an angry animal, so I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. More like that, maybe. Yeah, it's definitely better. Also, they have to be further apart. There you go. Okay. Like that. Okay. Little angry doge or dog. Dog. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna give all of this, first of all, a little bit more geometry, just, you know, to have something more to work with. Okay, perfect. So let's continue with the base mesh, or the base part, giving this an actual shape. There you go. Okay, so that's the dog. I mean, it's actually not a dog, it's a wolf. There you go, kind of just seeing if that works. Let me switch my thingy. Okay. Always just pulling and pushing to kind of see where it fits the best. Just trying to find the best shape. Of course, I don't really have that much practice with modeling wolves or animals in general. So it's kind of guesswork. It's also just working as much as possible with references, so I don't do anything, wrong. So I have my references of real life wolves right by my side, so I know exactly what I'm doing, or at least I have some help. I still don't know what I'm doing. Execution is different than observing, but better than only execution. I'm gonna give him a neck, of course. There you go. Massive neck. Okay. Okay. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my... So actually, as I know at least, dogs actually have eyebrows. I think cats do as well, but cats don't really seem to use them as much as dogs. So I'm gonna actually incorporate those in here as well. I don't really know that much if they really use them that expressively, but I'm gonna put them in like this first, and then we can still change it if we need to. Okay, let's work a little bit more on the inside of this mouth. First of all, I'm gonna make just like a hole to kind of put everything inside, and then later we can kind of care about whether or not it actually looks realistic. Or yeah, we're gonna put in the actual stuff in the mouth in later. I'm just gonna make like a a base first, so I can then add something more into it. There you go. Maybe a little bit deeper, just because you have some more room back here. Okay. So the shape isn't perfect yet, so I'm gonna do a few changes here. First of all, I think this has to be smaller, way smaller actually. Okay. Smoothing it out a little bit. Maybe even like a little bit stylized, but I kind of want to keep it very close to the original, just to be sure that everything's looking right. There you go. Looking that everything's anatomically correct. Okay, so let's do the bottom. You know what? Let's do the upper part first. So we have these lips right here, these wolf lips, and then we have the teeth that of course are supposed to show. So we have some gum right there. Nice fleshing there. Teeth, of course, means we're gonna see all these teeth right there. Okay, of course they're pretty small right now, but that's just the base. Not only the gum, but I'm gonna add the teeth as well. I'm gonna and then define the teeth a little bit later. There you go. Okay, so those are the basic teeth. They don't look perfect, but we're still in the process. Make this a little bit smaller maybe. So the front is actually quite flat, and then it gets a little bit smaller, or like it slims a little bit, and then it gets wide. I mean smaller. I mean wider again. So let's put in the big teeth now. Just gonna need some more geometry here. Perfect. Now I'm gonna select 2 of these. I mean, we only have to select one because we have symmetry on. I'm gonna select that right there. We're gonna invert it. Use the snake hook and then pull it down like that. Make them little fangs just to make them a little bit more intimidating. There you go. Then we're gonna define the other teeth a little bit more. We don't have that much geometry to work with, but you know, better than nothing. There you go. Let's do the other teeth. So the front teeth is actually, oh, the front teeth isn't actually that far in the front. Oh no, there's one more that is even bigger. So we have to do another big bore right here. Let's make some more geometry right there to add the big teeth. Okay. Right there, we're gonna select this piece, which is even bigger, of course, as I said before. Invert and grab the snake hook. Then we're gonna make the big boy. Suck. Smooth it out a little bit. Look at that. I think that's too far back. Is it? Or maybe, yeah, it is. But we can just pull it forward like this. We can probably also make this a little bit smaller. I think these ones aren't as big as the one behind that. There you go. Okay. Need a little bit more roundness in these teeth. They look kind of flat right now. There you go. Okay, then we define the other teeth. The other teeth are actually quite small. I guess these ones are more to catch the prey and the other ones are more to eat it, I guess. To grind the bones into dust. So these ones are quite small actually. Of course the geometry isn't that sufficient to really put in small teeth. But you know, if we can at least make a sketch right now and then we can detail them more later. Okay. What I want to do is actually I'm going to grab the lower part and make it even bigger. So I'm going to grab my, what is it, pose tool. Make it even bigger. You know what? No, I'm gonna grab the whole thing. Okay. $18 minutes left. Okay. We need the other teeth at the bottom now. So let's put them in here. So we have the skin right there, and then we have the teeth. Teeth coming from all the way back there, all the way to the front. There you go. Setting a, you know, base first, and then we're gonna add the big boys. There you go. Oh. Okay, let's put the teeth in, the big boys. So where do we have them? We have some right here. Right there. We're going to invert it, grab the snake hook, and put in the teeth. These ones aren't as long as the ones at the top, but they're still, you know, impressive. There you go. Smooth it out a little bit more. Okay, look at that. So those are the two teeth at the bottom, the big ones. The other ones are quite small. Let's put them in now. Okay. The other ones, yeah, the other ones are quite hidden underneath, or like, you know, lower than the skin, so we can't see them from the side at least. But that's okay. There you go. Okay, there you go. So we have the base of the mouth now. Let's put in some more work in the wrist. I actually wanted to do more animal, you know, I actually wanted to create some animals as well. So this is actually quite useful for me, just to learn, to begin learning more about how you actually, what the anatomy for animals look like. Of course, musculature is quite similar when it comes to the body, but the face, of course, is way different than humans. So it's actually quite helpful to do this right here, just to learn a little bit more about how they are actually structured. There you go, clicking my buttons as fast as possible. Okay, smoothing it out. There you go. So, of course, he's supposed to be a ferocious animal, so he needs a little bit more than this this growling. So I'm gonna give him a meaner face. Let's put in some I guess teeth, or how do you call it, like a some angry wrinkles. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There you go. Okay, let's see. I have some reference for that as well. Hold on. There you go. 15 minutes, perfect. Didn't even take that long to kind of detail the mouth a little bit more. Perfect. So then we have these folds that emerge once he fletches his teeth. They kind of go like this. And then we have some more here. Of course, all something I've never done before, so it's kind of hard to really put it in here, but you know, I think that it'll work out in the end. Just have to kind of test out some stuff and see if it works. If not, then I'm gonna just try again. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay. Of course, it doesn't really look like an you know like a wolf without its. First of all, we need the tongue as well. I completely forgot the tongue, but the tongue isn't that hard to put in. There you go. That's the tongue. It wouldn't be a wolf without its ears. So we let's put in the ears now. Once I'm done with the tongue. There you go. So let's see. Let's put in some ears. So it seems like if they actually fletch their teeth, oh no, their ears stay quite, like they stay forward, or at least put to the side. They don't, you know, tuck them down. So we put them probably somewhere over here. Invert. They're not as big as the one from yesterday. The one from yesterday were quite big. These ones are quite small and like a triangle shape, or like that. Yeah. Okay, let's make them a little bit more intimidating maybe. Let's see what we can do here. First of all, I'm gonna make them a little bit sharper. Give them a little bit more shape here. Actually, this has to be further back. It's a little bit rotated, not too much, but a little bit. There you go. Okay. Giving this some more, you know, making this ear actually like an ear, make it deeper. Give it a little bit of a ear hole. Of course, the ear hole with dogs and wolves seem to be quite small. But of course, the ears that you can visibly see that protrude from the head are quite big. There you go, compared to the inside. Okay. Okay, no, that looks weird. I'm gonna put it back. Okay. So I think what I'm missing now is more the I need some eyes now. So let's put in some eyes. Eyes are actually quite important for a wolf, for everything basically, because without eyes it kind of looks weird. But I think before I do that, I'm actually gonna create some fur, or at least kind of, you know, imitate some fur. That's what I'm gonna do now. Yeah, right now it looks kind of flat, because it looks more like a, you know, very flat fur, which of course isn't really the case for dogs, for example, or for wolves especially. So let's put that in now. So let's put that in. I'm just going to use the clay strip brush to do that. And then we're going to just go ahead and add some. Oh, I should probably go now a little bit deeper, because now we can go, you know, to 50. We have set the base. So now we can actually add some fur, some detail, you know. And that's way easier with more resolution. So I'm going to put some bushes in here, I guess. Kind of patches of fur that kind of fit together, like here. Okay, this one just follows that. Then we have some little bit on the nose as well. Of course, this all goes back. Actually, this can go down as well. There you go. We also have some on some of them, at least I've seen in the references, that you have some, what do you call it, these whiskers. They're not really whiskers for them probably, but you know, these whatever that hair is, nose hair. We need to put that in as well. But right now I'm kind of focusing more on making this a ferocious beast rather than putting in very, very fine detail. Kind of accentuating these shapes a little bit more with the fur that I'm putting in. We can also do that with the crease brush. We have 8 minutes left, okay. Put some more on the bottom as well. There you go. Make it a little bit wilder. So of course it's supposed to look like a wild wolf rather than just like a tame dog that's barking. I'm gonna make it a little bit wilder, a little bit wacky. I don't know how to describe it, you know, just like a little bit more, not as straight as before. Okay, there you go. The bottom is quite good. We need to put some more in on the side here. That's looking quite good. I like it, especially from the front. Trying to keep these batches of fur intact, just so it looks more like, you know, hair kind of clumps up together sometimes, and then sometimes it has a certain flow, which I kind of want to keep in here. So I kind of want to keep it in some smaller batches rather than just like a singular flow, which would always also make it look like less, I guess, wild again, because it's all the same and kind of kept. It would look like it is kept, which is of course not the goal here. Oh my god, I hate this. We need front faces only, otherwise we're gonna destroy the ear. There you go. Okay, that's better now. There you go, okay. I think the head itself is quite high, actually. So I'm gonna pull this a little bit higher. A little bit wider as well, like this. Okay. Putting in some more detail here on these, on the nose. So the snout itself as well. We need some more detail here. Smoothing it out a little bit. We also have the holes in the middle. There you go, that then go out. Like this. I always wondered why the nose looks like that. Why these nose holes kind of have this cut on the side. There's probably some sort of, you know, benefit to it. I wonder what that is. We should probably put in some more detail on the teeth, otherwise they kind of fall apart. Oh, like this one. There you go. There you go, that's way better. Do the same with this one. Just giving it some more detail, some more resolution will make it look way better. There you go. Okay. We have 3 minutes, perfect. Just enough time to finish this up. You know, it's always hard to do these scopes in 30 minutes, but you know, the more we do, the better we get. So the first ones might be a little bit rougher, but then once we get into a certain flow and we kind of know how to start, how to end and all that stuff, it'll be easier. Getting a certain workflow going. It's usually a little bit different when you do these very, very quick sculpts rather than the more calculated ones, I guess. They can, you know, you can just take a little bit more time to do them. The calculated ones. With these ones, you have to be quick and kind of do whatever comes to your mind. There you go. Putting in the teeth right there. The chomper teeth that are more there to chew. Okay. Let's put in eyes now. I'm just gonna use probably spheres. I think that's easier. UV sphere, there you go. Make it smaller, pull it to the side, smooth. Rotate it 90 degrees. Use a mirror modifier. Set that to this one, and there you go. We can now put the eyes in the wolf. think that's okay. Let's go back to sculpting to finish off the eyes. Of course, every animal has eyelids, otherwise they couldn't blink. Maybe not every animal, I don't want to speak too broadly, but at least a wolf, for example, can blink. So we need some sort of eyelids. There you go. Of course, it's not perfect, but you know, it's always a learning process. So I don't expect it to be perfect, especially if those are the first few sculpts that I've done ever for animals. There you go. Of course, you always want it to be good, but sometimes it's not exactly what, you know, not perfect or not exactly what you had in mind. But at least you can be proud of what you've done. 7 seconds, hell yeah. Okay, there you go. Just making it a little bit more wild. There you go. Okay, perfect. So now let's do this shot. What I want to do with this one actually is I want to cut the back off, just so we have a very flat back here. So I'm going to go into layout. I'm going to go and use a cube. I'm going to pull it all the way to the back, scale it up so it fits the whole sculpt, pull it to the side, and then we're going to rotate it and move it into place. There you go. Then we're going to go in here and use the Boolean modifier and apply or select the cube. So the cube will now cut off a straight bit of the sculpt, so the back is completely straight. Hopefully it's not going to crash, because then I would have to restart the whole thing. There you go, because I didn't save it yet. So let's save that right there. That's probably the biggest problem with these quick sketches or quick sculpts. The problem is that if you have to work if you have to sculpt so fast, you don't really have that much time to do anything else, like saving, for example. Saving doesn't take that long, but you know, you kind of want to use all the time to sculpt rather than doing anything else. Quick sketch day 128. There you go. Okay, let's apply that. Hello? Apply. It froze, did it? Yeah, it froze. If you apply a modifier, or if you use a modifier and it lags once you put it in or use it, then you can probably assume that it's gonna lag when you apply it as well. Okay, there you go. So let's import the lighting setup that I have. Let's open up a camera so I can make a quick the shot here. Put it maybe here to the side, like over there. That looks quite well. Pull it closer. Let's actually go in here and change the focal length maybe to 60. This will give the whole thing a little bit more perspective, but that could actually be good. Okay. So now let's save that right there. We're gonna append the scene, the lighting scene. Oh, where am I? There you go. 2, 6. There you go. Collection geometry. There you go. That's the lighting scene. There should be some eyes floating around. There they are. Remove them, and there you go. That's the lighting scene. Let's go into rendered view so we can see it. Okay, perfect. Also, we can import a hold on, I'm just placing my just setting up my camera real quick. There's also a shader that I can use, which works quite well with these models, because they kind of highlight the structure a little bit better. There you go. Let's go in here and save it white right there. White there. And we're going to append another. We're going to append the material. Material, and which one is it? I can't remember. This one? Let's see. Nope. Nope. Okay, hold on. I guess it's material 001. No. There it is. Aha. There you go. Look at that. It just kind of highlights these creases a little bit better. Puts a black in there, which kind of makes it look a little bit. Just, yeah, gives it more. Makes it look more 3D, I guess. Highlights the structure a little bit better. Let's change the eyes as well. We're going to go in here and change it up. We'll give it a material. Should we make it black? Let's see what that looks like. Roughness down, maybe 2.1. Then put it to black. Oh. I think that could work. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Okay, let's see if we can... I don't know if I like this perspective. I think I like this more. Let's change the focus point. Okay, let's also change the lighting a little bit. We can just select this, go to 3D cursor as the pivot point, and then rotate it. You know, just kind of rotating it and see what we can get here. Ooh. I like this actually. Maybe we could change this light a little bit more. Maybe like that. That's pretty cool, I think. I like that. Yeah. Perfect. Let's save it right there. Do we need anything else? I think that's good. So let's go ahead and save it. Oh, we've already saved it, of course. Let's do the sketch render. We're going to set it to 50% resolution. And then also, anything else? Nope, I think that's okay. Save it right there. I don't need my references anymore. I don't need the timer. There you go. Now, ready. Let's do the render. I'm going to switch to render result and hit render. This one is only for the post-production in Blender. Once that's done, we can go into, or we can do the post-production and then we can go into Photoshop. Okay, perfect. So let's do the post-production in Blender. We're going to go to the compositor window. We're going to just use the glare node, everything that's kind of unnecessary. There you go. I think that's quite well. It looks quite good already. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to save it right there. And set it to 100%. I also want to smooth. I know, you know what? I'm not going to smooth it. I'm going to leave it at rough. Or what is it? Flat? Flat display. Going to set it to ×4 ×2. 256 samples. There you go. Render image. This will probably take a little bit longer, but hopefully not that long. If so, then we can still reduce the sampling rate. 2 minutes. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, today I'm gonna show you a new technique, a new hair modeling technique that I have never seen before. It is a little bit inspired by a ZBrush technique actually that I've just recently, or that I've seen a while ago. I kind of thought about how you could implement that in Blender as well, and I think I found a pretty good solution for that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that soon. We're gonna go into the 3D recreation of our 2D sketch that we started last week. Hopefully we can, you know, finish most of it today, so that I can do a quick render of it. And then, yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have a new project that will be pretty fun, I think. We're gonna, as you can see down here as well, we're gonna expose Dream's real face. Nobody has seen it before, like the YouTuber Dream. Nobody has seen it before, and we're gonna attempt to predict how he looks like. So then, you know, Maybe if we ever see his face, then we know, or then we can compare it to what we've created. There are a few clues to how he looks, but of course not like no real images of his face or something. That would be too easy, of course. Then I wouldn't do the project. So we're gonna do a prediction. I kind of, I was not only trying to recreate this ZBrush technique in Blender, I also tried to find a good alternative to, what is it called? Like, to creating stylized hair with curves. The only downside that I have discovered so far would be that you can't have, you cannot use custom bevels, which could be a problem. But other than that, it seems quite effective. We're gonna try it today on the model. We're gonna refine the hair first through sculpting and then with this new technique, and then we're gonna see what it looks like in the end. I think it looked pretty good. Oh, 4 seconds, almost there. Ooh. There you go. Okay, perfect. Let's save it. PNG. Quick sketch day 128. Okay. Let's go to Photoshop. Once I've imported the image, I haven't even opened the quick sketch folder. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So let's do some post-production here. Oh, we have to switch. There you go. Let's do some post-production. First of all, what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and use a... you know what? I don't want to use selective color correction for this one. I'm going to use a contrast first. Increase the contrast. Then I also want to use a lighting adjustment layer to bump up the lighting a little bit more, make it the contrast even stronger. Maybe even some gamma. No, I don't want to make the dark tones too dark, or the gray tones. And then I think that's okay. Oh, we could also use to make it a little bit grittier on top of the texture that we're going to apply. We're also going to use a sharpening filter. Put that on there. Look at that. Before and after, it's just a little bit grittier. Oh, we can also maybe, before we do that, I'm going to increase the strength. Excuse me. There you go. Increase the strength. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's too strong. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Then what do we need? What do we need? Oh, yeah, we need the texture. Let's grab the texture. There you are, textures. Fingerprint texture. That's what I use for all my black and white images right now. Okay, add, there you go. Maybe set it to 50% because the background is quite dark. Maybe even to 25%, otherwise it takes over the image. Or maybe a little bit more, maybe 33. Yeah, that looks quite good. Perfect. Gonna place it a little bit better. There you go, maybe like this. Yeah, that's good, Perfect, okay. We're gonna save the PSD first, and then we're gonna export it as a JPEG. Go, export. There you go. There you go, quick sketch. Nope, wait, I'm in the wrong folder. There you go. Export. I need to import it into my phone. Before I do that, we're going to go back to Blender. And I will open the file that we're going to work on today. So open recent noodle girl. There you go. There it is. So yesterday we created the cloth, the clothing. So what we're gonna do today is we'll create the hair, as I said before. Maybe even the noodles. We'll see about that. Maybe not. We'll see. Before we start with that, I'm gonna upload the image, of course. So I have to import it into my phone, just so you have something to look at right there. You can see the shot right there, the original compared to this one. Okay, there you go. Copy. And paste. Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Let me do that. And what do we need? Yeah, okay. So everything's ready to be uploaded. I'm going to play a quick compilation for you to pass the time before we continue with this. And I'm going to show you how I found this new technique, or what the new technique is. We're going to start with sculpting first, and then we'll go over the new technique. So until then, hope you enjoy the compilation. I'm going to see you in 3 minutes roughly. There you go. I always forget to mute myself before I speak. Okay. So we're ready to go on to the next topic. I'm gonna actually change to my standing position for my desk. So I'm gonna quickly mute myself real quick, and then we're gonna start. Hold on. There you go. Okay, perfect. So let's continue the hair. So the biggest and most important part about the hair is that it's supposed to look like the sketch. The next most important part is probably like a main principle of hair. So of course, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to prepare the hair to add more detail on top of it. So the base layer will be a sculpt. So we have the sculpt already, but of course I want to put some more detail in it so that we have a good base, a good, you know, detailed base to add more on top of. You can see right here in the sketch, you have a big, like, you know, ball of hair. And then you have these hairs that kind of whirl around the main mass of hair. So this is the main mass of hair that you can see right there. And we're going to add more, we're going to add smaller, just smaller hair later on top of what we have right there. So what we need to do first is we need to create sculpted hair, or we need to refine the sculpted hair that we have right here, which shouldn't take that crazy long. So let's start. We're going to start with the, of course, enabling dynamic topology. I don't think we've used 50 on this, right? No, see, okay. We can use 50 constant detail resolution. And now we're just going to, basically what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce the main flow that we have in the hair. So we can see these lines that all go up to the whatever that's called, the braid or whatever, the knot at the top. The bun. We're gonna reinforce first of all the structure and put in some more detail, kind of, you know, make it look less geometric. And then once we have that, we can build on top of that the smaller hair that kind of deviate from the main flow. That's the plan right now. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. We're gonna reinforce the sculpt first. First of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and sculpt in the main flow, basically just going in here and doing what I've done before, kind of going over the lines that I've already created and maybe changing them a little bit, maybe not, depends on how they lie. Maybe I want to change them, of course. That depends on how I feel like, if they lie good already, or if I want to change them. I can also, next to the clay brush, no, what is it, clay buildup, clay strip brush, I can also use the crease brush. Those are the two ones that I'm going to use here, just to kind of reinforce the hair flow. You see right there how more detail we already have added by just doing that. There you go. I'm going to make some peaks and valleys first, and then we can add some more in between to make the hair look less like some sort of marble, I guess, marble statue, and more like actual hair. We can go, of course, decrease the size of the cursor to also add some more smaller here in the middle, like there, for example. We can also go kind of put some deviating hair over here as well. The hair itself is quite wild in the sketch, so we kind of want to keep that nature of the hair in mind and bring that into the sculpt as well. So we will also introduce some deviating hair on here. See that it's already way better than what we had before. Maybe some deviating here as well. Going all the way to the top. And that's what we're going to do for the sculpt first, and then we can build on top of that. Once we have a good base, then the fun begins. And the new technique merges. I'm going to show you what I mean. It's basically just using vertices, and with a combination of modifiers, you can create a pretty easy way to create hair. Maybe a little bit stylized hair, but you know, modeling hair is quite easy with that technique. Okay, we also have some here. Actually gonna pull this a little bit lower, kind of hanging over here a little bit more, the hair. There you go. Okay. Just trying to reinforce the structure, maybe giving it a little bit more, maybe even like smaller details, like the hair that is underneath the hair that is covering, or that you can see the most, like the second layer of hair. That's what we're trying to do here. That's why we use these clay strip and the crease brush, because those are very, very useful to create a nice structure. So you can see right here, if I do some strokes right there, it already looks kind of like hair. Not perfect, but of course, if we increase the strength first of all, it's a little bit easier. And also by using the crease brush, it gets easier. What I want to do is I want to remove the arm. I'm also going to call this hair. Sculpt. There you go. Where is my arm? There you go. And then I'm going to use the crease brush to reinforce the structure a little bit more. There you go. Making them very droopy because they're quite supposed to be wild and wacky hair strands going all the way up here. And there you go. So what I'm going to do now, basically, is I'm going to start with the clay strip to kind of reinforce, as I said multiple times now, the structure of the hair. And then I'm going to go over these strips some more with the crease brush to put in a little bit smaller details. And that is the workflow that we're going to do right now. Of course, this hair is supposed to be quite wild, so we can actually be quite, you know, quite wild, quite spontaneous with our strokes. Of course, we still have to keep in mind the main flow of the hair. We shouldn't, you know, go like sideways or whatever. That wouldn't really fit that well. I also have some more references that I can use for the hair that you cannot see, but I can. You don't really need to see them. They're just helpful for me to kind of see the back of the hair more, because we don't really have any references for that. There you go. Creating quite long strokes as well. The detail comes later. That's basically how you model hair in any way, in basically anywhere. Whether that is with hair cards or curves or whatever. You start with a good base and then you continue to add more and more detail to make it as detailed as you want. The problem is, of course, if you add more detail, you can kind of fall into that trap that you just want to add more and more detail until there's no real difference anymore. But you kind of feel like there's a difference. That's what you kind of have to keep an eye out for, that you don't overdo it, that you don't lose yourself in detail. But in general, that's the main workflow. There you go. We're almost all the way around the base. There you go. Okay. We have some more over here. That kind of actually creates some weird this weird bump right here at the top. That's kind of, you know, reinforces this very rough structure. There you go. Of course, the strokes don't have to be perfect. I already saw one that I would have changed, but I can still do that, so I'm not really that concerned about it. So let's do the bun, and then I'm going to go into the crease brush and add some more detail there with that one. There you go, creating the flow. So this one is actually an interesting approach to creating a bun. Usually what you have this kind of twister-like effect, but this one seems to be kind of turned into itself, which is not really something I've seen before. Maybe I can't really see how it's supposed to work, but yeah, it seems kind of weird. Maybe we could make like a twist effect ourselves, that they kind of fall into themselves in here. There you go. Maybe like that more. Still keeping the sketch structure alive. Also making it maybe a little bit more realistic. There you go. Okay, yeah. Look how much more detail we already have. So then we can maybe pull this. Oh, this is maybe like just a bun that fell to the side. So that would mean that everything over here would kind of go in this direction. Maybe not all of it. Maybe we can do something like this here. Kind of make it a little bit rougher. There you go. This goes over here. Okay, there you go. We almost covered the whole sketch. I mean, the whole sculpt. I mean, probably sculpt sketch, we could call it. There you go. Make some longer hair strands. There you go. Okay. So now that we have that, we can use the crease brush to add some more detail in here. First of all, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use I'm going to increase the strength. I'm just going to go in here and do that. We're not going to do too much of that, but we're going to start putting in some, some smaller structure in here. Here, for example, the hairline benefits greatly from us doing that. Otherwise, it just looks like a singular, I guess, batch of hair that is kind of connected to the face, kind of taped onto it or like glued to it. Look at that. So we're going to do the same with the rest here as well. Long strokes help as well, because then you can sell this look of long hair going all the way up there. Like that. Ooh, look at that. Putting in some holes here as well, some pits and creases and all that fun stuff to give it some more structure. Look at that. Make it very, very deep here, for example, like very, very deep. Okay, perfect. It's still pretty rough in terms of geometry density, but once we set it to smooth, we could probably solve most of it. This is not supposed to be a perfect sculpt. This is more supposed to be a quick project, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But, at least a little bit of effort we can put in here. That's why I actually just continued with this. We started it last week. We've been working on it, I think, for 3 days. And I didn't really feel like the sculpt is, good enough. So I wanted to work a little bit more on it. That's why we want to work on it today and yesterday as well. I have so much video footage recorded last week that we can make a full-on project, I guess, work week today. I mean, this week. Yeah, so that's why we have so many projects this week, basically too. But we could also do like I don't know, other stuff like tutorials or whatever. But I wanted to do more projects right now. There you go. Look at that. Already way more detail than what we had before. This comes down to adding more and more detail. This will be the last layer of detail for this sculpt. After that, we're going to go into the new technique. There we go. Just going in here, making these long strokes, create this nice long hair effect. There we go, okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is the base layer where we're gonna build on top of. There you go. Going up again. Okay. You know, I wonder if that's quite common, what I sometimes think about. That's probably what I think about a lot, like whether that is common or not. So sometimes what I do is I'm in a moment which I perceive as very, very, you know, just like a nice moment, whether that is with friends or alone or whatever it is. It is like these moments that you're gonna cherish in the future. So sometimes when I am in these moments, like I kind of think to myself like, oh, you're having so much fun right now, like in my own head, and I kind of think about, oh well, yeah, this is such a cool moment right now. I wonder if that is like one of those moments that I'm gonna look back on later, which you know, as these fun memories that kind of stick in your mind, and you know, are those memories that you always look back on and find really like wish you were there again and all that stuff. I wonder, you know, I always think about that when I have these moments, these really, really cool moments, whether that is playing games with somebody or in real life doing something together with friends or whatever. That's some, you know, that's quite often I do that. It's the same with when I do something bad, or when something bad happens, like when I don't know, I remember knocking over a huge tray or a huge glass of milk, I think. So I had to clean that up. It spilled all over the kitchen, the countertop or kitchen, whatever you call it, kitchen, you know, part, and the kitchen top or whatever. So I had to clean that up, and I thought to myself like, that happens usually every time I feel kind of down, or I have something happen to me that is of course not fun to deal with, like spilling something that kind of requires you to take care of it immediately. And you know, I always think to myself like, oh well, this is something you're gonna look back on and kind of laugh about it, especially when it comes to stuff like, you know, these situations that are kind of maybe awkward or annoying or whatever. Not always, but especially when it's something very unusual, not like when that wasn't, well, I actually did it in school as well, when I had my like presentations, for example. What I always think about is, or what I always thought about is, well, you're gonna, after you're done, you're gonna look back at this and actually realize how simple that actually was. And usually that's also the case. So yeah, it's just always, it always happens. And I can't help it. But every time I am in the moment of uneasiness or, you know, awkwardness or whatever it is, I always think like in the future and kind of think about how I will think about it, and whether that is like, oh well, I remember back then, or telling it to a friend or whatever, thinking like, oh well, dude, do you remember when I spilled that glass of coffee all over your white shirt or whatever? And then, you know, kind of laughing about it because it's already over and nothing really like bad happened that kind of sticks and always has like a bad impression in real life. It just sticks in your mind. I don't know why that is. I wonder if that's like a common thought, like, oh well, I'm gonna think back to this this is such a cool moment right now, or whatever. I think I'm always, so in a sense, I'm always looking into the future. So there are basically 3 me's. That sounds kind of weird, but there are always three I am always in 3 positions at the same time. I am, for one, I'm in the present, like the one that you see right now, me speaking, me sculpting, me streaming and all that stuff. And then there's the past, basically even just me starting the stream, doing the intro, and kind of I can think about that, what I've done there, what I could change right now in the present to you know, to do it better or whatever. And then there's also the future me. And all these 3 can work together, basically. That's what I at least try to do. So the past is always where you can draw from, where you can draw information from. What worked, what didn't work, what you shouldn't do again, what, you know, what you should avoid and all that stuff. Then you have the present, basically you acting on that information. And then you also have the future, trying to see how you will be with, or what would happen with your future self once you've acted in the present with the information that you gathered from the past. That is basically always kind of my, you know, in my head. Whether that is thinking about, like, you know, fun things that I've done, or thinking about more long term, like, oh, what I can do now to kind of affect my you know, 2 years in the future, or maybe even just a week, or maybe even just, you know, 2 minutes from now. There's a little bit always on my mind. And I wonder if that's a common thought or not. That is also my second thought every time I think about it. Do people think like that? Am I special? No. It's just, you know, maybe I can actually, maybe I do something wrong. Maybe I'm inefficient in my thoughts. Maybe I can learn from others as well about maybe that thought process is actually damaging or whatever. I don't know. I feel it's quite helpful for me, so that's why I still do it. There you go. That's the base. Oh, we have to do the shop as well. We're almost done with the sculpt. Okay. Yeah, that's why what I always think about. You know, just thinking about the immediate, or basically my thought process is first. My thought process is basically always thinking about the future. Okay, what should happen to me, or what do I want to have happened in the future? Then I think what I can do in the present to get to that future that I had in mind. And then I think about the information that I can gather from the past that can help me in my act of getting to, or that can help me inform the action that I can take in the current, in the present, basically. That is always my thought process. It seems quite logical to me, at least, but I think that's every time you kind of think about your own thinking, I guess. Every time something seems logical until you fail, and then you think, oh man, you're such an idiot or whatever. But until that happens, you always think like, oh well, that's quite smart. That sounds reasonable. But then in the end, you know, it can also not be reasonable. And maybe at some point I'll realize, oh no, what did I do? I've always been thinking wrong. Maybe, you know, maybe there's another way to do it. Welcome all through. Hope you enjoyed your day so far. Is there any tool like edge slide, but not only to move the edge, but also to copy it? What do you mean copy? So you wanna copy an edge? So I guess you could use the knife tool. Hold on. So if you have a plane, so you have like an edge right there. What you can do is you can of course move it. And then what do you need? Basically just this one, copying it over here, like over here more. I guess you could make another edge right there. You can also use the knife tool. And then if you want to stick to the axis, you can press C, which doesn't really work that well actually, but it at least stays straight. Like if you click, then you can see this green cube, which basically indicates where you're going to cut or where you're going to create new vertices. If you then hit enter, that's what you get, and you have another edge. But then you also have the, what is it, edge loop tool, which control R, just adding another edge. But I don't think you can just copy this, can you? I mean, you could, you know, just press Shift D, but then you just have a separate edge, which doesn't really work that well. Yeah, those, is that what you mean? Oh, there you go. Oh, we need dynamic topology. There you go. Don't forget. Yeah, that's, you know, you never think you're doing something wrong until you until you realize that it's wrong. What do you mean with separating? You mean by duplicating and then it's not connected to the mesh anymore? I don't really know if there's a... Oh, so what you basically want to do is you want to duplicate it, and in the duplication process you want to also slide it over, basically. That's what I think you mean. Am I correct? I'm thinking whether that is possible. I wonder if there's a tool for that. Hold on. So if we have another plane, and then we have an edge right there. Wait, edge slide is here, right? Nope. T. Yeah, we have some. This is the edge slide tool right there. Vertex slide, no. So this is the edge slide tool. If we enable this, we can move it, of course. Can we control, wait, Shift D duplicates it? What about Shift Control D? It does nothing, okay. Shift Alt D also does nothing. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, I guess the best option would be to either use a, what is it? You know, add another cut, or using the knife tool. Other than that, I don't really know if that actually works. I've never used something like that before. But I also have never needed it, but I've also never really worked with hard surface sculpt, for example, or hard surface modeling rather. That's probably more where you would use some sort of stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think that works. Yeah. I don't think there's a way to do that. At least I don't know that. Hold on. I'm gonna do a quick research. Blender edge slide Duplicate. Oh. Wait. Okay, hold on. There's also this weird thing which is called ripping, I think. I think it happens if you mark a like a geometry and then press V. There you go. That's what you could use. I don't know if that really works with a mesh though. So now that you have this, you basically duplicated it. Now we can select these two faces and reconnect them again. Well, let's see what happens with a cube. So if we add a cut right here, and then you want to add another cut just here, what you could do is you could select this edge, press V. Oh, but it doesn't. Ah, now it slides. If you press G again, V and then G, and then you can slide it down, and then you can connect the two. I guess that's the best option you have. There you go. Yeah, I think that's what you're looking for, right? Just adding maybe one more loop there instead of like a whole new loop like this. You can just go here. Once you have the edge there, you can select this edge and then you press V and then G, and then you can rip it. The only problem is that I don't know how you can decide in which direction it goes. V. Now it goes down. But then when I do it again, now it goes up. Okay, maybe it just, switching between up and down. I don't know. But I think that's the best option that you have for what you want to do. There you go. There you go. Okay, we're good in time. We can soon start with the new hair technique. Just trying to put in some more detail into the hair right here, and then we can start. Oh, we need to enable dynamic topology, of course. Otherwise we have some stretchy vertices right here, or stretchy edges, which is not what we want. There you go. There you go, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you do something and you think it makes sense, it's kind of hard to, think in a different way and kind of see that it was actually wrong, because for you it makes sense. So why would you think about how it couldn't make sense? So you would just think to yourself, oh well, that makes sense, I think that's how it works, or whatever, or that's how I want to do it, and then in the end you're gonna break your arm or whatever. And then you realize, oh no, wait, that is so dumb, why did I do this? Sometimes it, of course, like I don't know, jumping over a fence, then breaking your arm. You kind of think about it, you kind of think about what could happen before you do it. I hope so, at least. That's what I do. So I would think others do it as well. But it's not like it would make sense before you do it when you do something more you don't really know about. So with breaking your arm and kind of thinking about it before and kind of coming to the conclusion that it could happen, you probably already, have experience with that. Maybe you did it yourself. Maybe you know someone that happened to, or you yeah, you somehow know, you have experience with it. But when it comes to other stuff, like, oh, well, I don't know. How do you set up a PC? And then you forget the or you apply the thermal paste wrong. How are you supposed to know that without having experience? You just do it, and then if it goes wrong, then you have experience then that you can draw from. But before that, everything could make sense. You just, you know, work with the information that you already have in your brain and kind of try to get to the best conclusion possible. Which of course sometimes is wrong. But you don't really think about it, think that it's wrong, because in your mind it could make sense. Or it's just the best option that you can come up with yourself. It just then always comes down to information. I mean, you know, gathering information by doing it. Okay, we're almost done with the sculpt, and then we can go over to the technique. I said that before, but now it's actually true. There you go. So that's the base that we have right now. Let's go back to layout, and now let's go into, see, now if I smooth it, it looks a little bit better. Now let's do the hair technique. So what we need is a plane. Let's grab the plane right there. So the technique basically only uses vertices. You only need vertices and nothing else. And then we're going to apply a few modifiers to the mesh so that we can create some hair. I have a cylinder model. I want to make a cap using extrude and don't want to use F keys. And it doesn't work. Is there any solution for that? What do you mean you want to use F keys? Wait, cylinder. I want to make a cap using extrude. So you want to do this. And then you want to make a cap like this. Or what do you mean? Zip. Or do you want to, I don't know. What does F do? Nothing. F basically combines faces, right? Hold on. Like this, and then if we select two, F, yeah, it connects them. You can bridge them as well by selecting the whole edge and then searching bridge, which you can also find in edge, bridge edge loop, and then you bridge the whole thing. Don't want to use F keys, and it doesn't work. Is there any solution for that? So, yeah. So you can bridge stuff, which would make it maybe easier. Do you mean like pressing F doesn't work? Like this doesn't work? Or what do you mean? Oh, so what you want to do is you want to actually do that, what you have right here. So you want to have this, but without using the F key. Okay, so make it faster basically. Hold on. Merge distance. Okay, so I guess you want to select this, then V, G, zip, and there you go. Oh, okay, you still have that. Yeah. I guess it always rips it apart. I don't think you can really avoid that. I don't think there's a way. I mean, yeah, there's a way, but you know, just go ahead and do this. I think that's the closest that you can get to what you want. You cannot use this one and just duplicate it up, but you can just make another cut. Especially when it's a cylinder, that could work like this, you know, and then you have that. What you can also do is you can go in here. I think, I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you now do this, zip, that only takes the front row though, that's the weird part about it. Usually I think it takes everything into account. Weird. Yeah, but I don't think there's a way to duplicate an edge. At least I've never heard of it. Okay, so for the new technique, we need a plane. We're gonna move it over here. we're gonna merge these vertices, Shift X, select these two as well, Shift X, so we just have an edge right there. So the only thing we need are vertices. We're gonna apply a few filters to it so that it actually looks like hair particles, or not hair particles, but hair strands. What we need to add first is a, wait, before we do that. No, actually we're gonna do it first. So what we need a few modifiers. The first modifier that we need is a subdivision surface modifier. No, hold on, do we need a subdivision surface modifier? Yeah, we do. Just to increase make it smooth and also add more vertices. That means if we go in here now and do this, you can see what happens. So we get this nice curve in there, which we can then add more detail to by just increasing the viewport. I mean the viewport, the level. What you can do is you can, yeah, this way we can make a nice smooth, you know, hair strand without having to care about the vertices being smooth necessarily. So next up, what we need is a skin modifier. That's the skin modifier. You can see what it does. This is basically to create the volume of the hair. Of course, it's just a block right now, but first of all, what we can do is we can increase this. So now it is smooth, which means now we have to add more. The first subdivision modifier was to smooth the edge, this one right there. The next subdivision modifier will add more geometry to the hair. Right now it's just a cube. And it'll smooth it as well, make it round. So we're gonna add another subdivision surface modifier. And you can see what happens. We have a nice round cylinder now, similar to the curve. See, that almost looks like a curve, but with round caps. Now what you can do, we can go in here and we can change the volume. And that is basically how you can create, oh, welcome Yanis. Hope you enjoyed your day so far. Welcome. We are working on hair. I'm just showing a new technique on how to, or a new technique I've discovered I've never really seen before, how you can model hair, in my opinion, quite intuitively. Redoing something? You mean, did you fall into the trap of not saving and then your program crashed? Okay, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and we can change the volume on these individual vertices, which means we can go in here, we can select a vertex, and then we can press Ctrl A to change the thickness like that. And this way we can create a nice hair strand. We can control every single vertex and create this nice little hair strand. There you go. And that's how we are going to do this. The good thing about it is that we can also basically paste the hair onto the sculpt. I'm going to show you what I mean. First of all, I'm just going to remove everything except for these two. You basically always need two vertices. There you go. So now what I want to do to perfect this piece, I want to make the start of this this hair strand, the root basically, match the pivot point. So I'm going to select this vertex, press Shift S, Shift S, hold Shift S, cursor to selected. There you go, now it's there. Then we can go into out of edit mode, object, set origin to 3D cursor, and there you go. Now the pivot point is at the root of the hair. That helps because the root has to be on top of the surface. And if you want to apply the mesh onto the surface of the hair, for example, it is easier to do that if the pivot point is at the root. Then we can set the snapping. We can enable snapping with face, project individual elements, move, rotate, scale. What we can do now, we can duplicate this and we can just paste it onto the hair. We can just move it and it always sticks to the surface. A 16:8 segment display on base of faces, but that creates too many materials when I use more. So you made a display. So basically you've created, I don't know, like a plane. Like this. And then you've separated it into multiple faces like this. Is that what you mean? And then you've okay. Wait. But what did you do with what did you do before that? Like, did you not use materials? Or oh, you mean now then you went in here and then you said like, okay, well this is supposed to be a shader, then this is supposed to be a shader, and then this is supposed to be a shader, and then you have like a list of all these shaders, which is of course way too much. Oh yeah, okay, no, I know what you mean now. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the best way to do that would be to yeah, create an image first and then or what you can also do you want to animate it? If that's what you want to do, you could also create 2 planes. So like that. Like this. And then what you can do is you can keep the grid. Hold on, you need a grid right there. You can shape it like the numbers are, like these sharp you know, shapes. These stripes or whatever they're called, like this. That's the number 1, for example. Or hold on, let's make a 0. Oh, there you go. We delete these faces. There you go. What you can then do is you can just grab another plane. And put it behind that. Oh, yeah. There you go. What you can, or you don't even need to, you don't even need to change the geometry. You can just create basically a, you can create a plane. Hold on. If you have the plane again, like this, you can separate this into multiple parts. I think there are 4 digits, and then this middle part. So you would need to have 5 separate parts, and then you can basically create a list from 0 to 9 as a texture, and then if you want to change the number, you can just change the texture position for each digit. And this way you can just use a single material for any texture to create this you know, the number that you want to do or want to have. Okay. So yeah, you can now place the hair right on top of the surface. Of course, it's way too big. So what we can do is we can just go in here, make it slimmer. There you go. And then also what we can do, if you want to paste this onto the hair, the biggest problem right now is that if you move this, hello, please just let me move this vertex. Where are you? Oh. Yeah, I think it'll be way easier if you do that with shaders. You can separate the plane by using a gradient. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so now you can basically, by enabling snapping, you can put it to the base here, for example, and then you can keep it enabled and grab this vertex, and you can still keep it snapped to the hair. The problem is now, if we go over here and we have very big changes in the level, I guess, or if we have big bumps, you can see that the hair can go straight through the material. What you can do to fix that is we can add something more to this string of modifiers. What we need more is a shrink wrap modifier. We put that over the skin modifier, so we only affect the vertices, not the geometry that will be created by the skin. And then what we can do is we can select the target, the hair sculpt, and this way the hair will always stay on top of the sculpt like this. And now what you can do is you can just go in here and put put the hair in there. And it'll always stay on top of the sculpt. What you can also do, you can change the wrap method. Maybe a different one works. You can also change the offset, which is kind of weird with just vertices. So I would suggest keeping that at 0. What you can do is you can change the snap method, outside surface. Let's see if there's something better than no. Oh, hold on. There's something outside, inside, of course. On surface. Yeah, on surface is probably the best one. You can also say project, but that creates some weird stuff. I usually keep it at nearest surface point and then on surface. That's the basic setting, and it works quite well. The good thing now is if we want to change the vertices, you can just go in here, and there you go. Okay, and then what you can also do is you can go in here and change the width. Make them thinner the further they go. And there you go. We have a single hair strand. So we can do that now with, we can add some more hair on top of this. And then we're going to do these flying hairs as well. So what do we need first? I'm going to apply the same modifier to this one as well. I'm going to just apply the shrink wrap modifier. If you want to make like a base hair that you can then duplicate onto the surface every time, you can just put that over here and then not select anything. Then once you have it enabled like this, you can then select it. This way, like this one doesn't stick to the surface because this one is supposed to stay there. If you now select the target, you can see it's gone. It's basically sticking to the surface now, which we don't want to have happen. So we can just, not remove the modifier, but remove the source. Yeah, there you go. And now we can just select this. Oh, hold on. Oh, we did an oopsie. Wait, did we? No, we didn't. There you go. Then we just use snapping to move it all the way down there. Okay. Making it smaller. This way we can create a few more hair strands over here. Of course, the more vertices you have, the more subdivisions you also have, which means you have more, like, more accurate shrink wrap, more accurate shrink wrapping. What you can also do is you can just duplicate this. Oh, we also actually found a problem right here. The pivot point is not at the root position. So I'm just going to duplicate this one. This one doesn't have the problem. There you go. We can change the vertices a little bit. We can also go into this mode so we can see better. There you go. Just create some wild hair first. Of course, if you want to make this a very smooth hairstyle, you would probably create a smoother sculpt. But this one's supposed to be quite wild. So this one is actually okay to be, more wobbly, I guess. Okay, I don't want to do that for the whole thing. I'm just going to do the front probably. And then I'm going to do the second method of applying this, this hair. There you go. I'm just going to stop it right there. Change the size. We can also do it here to kind of make it a little wobblier. Like that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do that. Fill it up a little bit more, the surface, and then we can go over to the flying, the deviating strands. There you go. Going into the knot right there, the bun. I think that's okay. We can probably also add one over here. Delete these vertices, start over again. There you go. Okay, perfect. So we can make this smaller as well, especially here in the front. Oh, not this front. We can make these smaller just to kind of, you know, make them look more like they're growing out of the skin rather than being these tubes on top of the hair. Remember, it's not Shift S, it is Shift A. I mean Control A. There you go. Okay. There you go. See, now we can create some more structure over there. Very easy, very simple, very intuitive. Very fast, especially. Let's do that over here more. Oh, I deleted this one as well. Delete vertices. Okay. Let's do it over here now. Creating this wave effect. And good thing is that it's like the wobbliness actually helps with this very messy look. There you go. Another strand. Duplicate. Remove the vertices. And start over. This can also go on top of the other one. If you want to kind of put it underneath the other one, what you can do is you can just put one right over. Actually, no, now it's right on top of the other strand, which is actually helpful. See? Now if I put that right there. Hold on. Yeah. It is actually on top of... Is it? Yeah, it is on top of the other one. You can, for example, change the size to make it more apparent or make it smaller. There you go, to make it look more as if it's underneath the other strand. But with the snapping enabled, you also include the other surfaces in the snapping, not only the sculpt. There you go. Control plus adds more and more vertices to the selection. Now I can just press Control A to make them thinner. There you go. We can also select a few regions here, make them thinner, just to vary the structure a little bit. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna do that a little bit more. Of course, you can go into as much detail as you want with this. I want to keep this quite rough. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm gonna, you know, try to do this a little bit quicker. I don't want to fill the whole sculpt with this hair, because we still need to do the other variant, or variants even. There you go. I'm just gonna end it there. That looks good. Duplicate. Remove these vertices. There you go. Of course, the more vertices that you add, the more the subdivision will add vertices as well. So you kind of might have to watch out for the overall vertex count to not rocket up into, you know, oblivion into the sky. But yeah, that's probably one thing you kind of have to watch out for. There you go. This one actually looks pretty good, but the vertices are kind of off, so I'm going to do that again. There you go, remove these vertices and start over. This one can actually deviate a little bit more, maybe, like this. That's also what I said before. This is actually a technique that you have in ZBrush as well. So what I saw was a video of somebody basically creating these hair strands, or basically this what we have right here, these hair snakes, I guess. And just pasting them on the surface. And I kind of thought about maybe how you could do the same in Blender as well. I think that's a pretty good solution. At least the one that I could come up right now, the best one to kind of adapt the same system. And to be honest, right, so far it works quite well. Of course, we probably have to test the system with like more kept hair as well. But I think if you keep the base sculpt quite, you know, smooth, then you can also create very smooth you know, hairs, like these hair strands that we add right now onto the surface. It always depends on how the surface looks, whether or not the shrink wrap modifier makes it very wobbly or not. I'm gonna add one more over here. There we go. Maybe even intersect these two like this. Ooh, look at that. There you go. Let's add one more over here. And you can see it's very quick to do that. You know, it's very intuitive, just basically laying down strips of hair. Nothing really difficult, just pressing E and then moving the vertice that you've just created. And you can create some more detail like this. You can also, of course, go into these individual ones and just go in here and select these two. Control A, make them bigger to kind of change up the structure. I don't know, like going in here, making this wide. There you go. Of course, you kind of have to make sure that it's not looking too messy or too wild. Let's go over here. There you go. Selecting this and then moving it down. Just following the flow that we've already established with the sculpt, and just reinforcing it with these additional hair strands. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's this part. Let's go over to the back. Remove these vertices and then start over. Right over here. Yeah, you know, that is also another one of those techniques that I've kind of developed and now I'm kind of testing. It seems very effective, but maybe there are like major drawbacks that will make this way inferior to like curve modeling for hair. So far I don't really see a big difference. The great benefit that I'm at least seeing Oh wait, you can also oh yeah, you can also branch off, of course. You can create like branches. You can also just duplicate these. No, that doesn't work, okay. You know, you can branch off as well. That looks kind of weird, but you know, if you go in here and maybe do the same on this side as well. No, that looks horrible. Okay, let's maybe not branch off. Branching off might be like a, I don't know, might not be a good option, but you can do it. I'm gonna leave it there. Just, you know, why not? Put that over here. And continue the modeling process. If you want to make sure that the hair is on top of this bump, for example, make sure that you put the vertice on top of the peak so that it's not like the edge is not going through the peak. This way you can basically make sure that everything is going on top, or everything stays on top. There you go. Vertices. Move it down. Create something down here as well. So the only problem, of course, right now being that you cannot protrude from the mesh. So if I go in here and extrude that out, there's nothing falling because it's always going to be projected onto the surface. But we're going to come to that later. That's the second technique. You could probably do it, but it's probably easier to do it without using vertex groups. That's probably a technique that you could use to get to that, you know, to get the desired result of using the same you know, mesh here and just protruding it. Okay, there you go. See, now here it's kind of going through the surface, so we're just going to put it on top of the peak, and there you go, we've solved the problem. For some people that might be a relaxing sort of work. For me it's just tedious going through this and just adding more and more strands, more and more detail. Hair is probably like one of my least favorite things to model, but it adds so much to a character that I don't wanna dismiss it and, you know, just do a poor job with it. There you go. At least we're almost halfway through. There you go. Adding more and more and more. Just pressing E and moving the vertice. Making sure that they don't go through the surface in weird spots. Okay, this one actually goes through. Why? Why would you do this? What if we add more here? We can just select the two and then say subdivide to add another one in the middle. Does that help? Oh, it helps. Yeah, there you go. I think there was just geometry missing. There you go. Of course, we have the most of these hairs at the top, which is maybe not a bad thing, because that's supposed to be the messy part and everything is kind of going in there into this knot part. But you can also see in the front how it looks now. We have a little bit more structure to it, a little bit more flow, a little bit more individual hair strands. That's basically the goal of this. And we're going to add more that kind of protrude from the main flow. That kind of, go into the air, basically. Fly around to the main part of the base. The hair. The base of the hair. Still trying to respect the flow that I've set before. Why is there... Oh, okay. I guess I forgot to delete that. Wait, that means that it's still there, right? No, it's not. Deleting this part. There you go. And starting over again. The good thing is with snapping, it's super easy to just paste it onto the surface. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to, extrude more. And that's basically all you do. The main heavy lifting will be done by the snapping tool. Of course, I'm being very fast with this. If you want to really go into detail and really want to make sure that every strand looks perfect, you can do that, of course. I have the benefit of this hairstyle being very messy, so I don't really have to care about it that much. But I'm also making sure that I, follow the basic principles that I've said before, like following the flow, making sure that the hair ends and starts in a reasonable spot and it doesn't look weird and funky. There you go. Look at that. Okay, let's add a few more to the side of the sideburns. There you go, starting from there. How many vertices do we have right now? Yeah, we have 778. Isn't that much? I remember being at like 11 million. I think that was the highest that I ever had. So we're far off from that. And it doesn't really seem... So 778, if we add this now, how much do we add? 782, okay. So you cannot be like... You can probably not be like super detailed with this. But you can at least add some more structure this way. I wonder if this in the same length and structure has the same amount of vertices or maybe even more than curves. Probably depending on how you set up the curves. You can also set up these strands a little bit differently. So what you could do is you could just go in here and change the, what is it? The subdivision, set it to 1, maybe even 0, but 1 is probably better. This way we get less vertices. So if you're struggling with, I don't know, if your system's struggling, maybe that might be a good option to reduce the vertex count. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Let's put in, should we put in more? I think that's okay now. I think that's a good start, yeah. Perfect. So now let's do the other variant. I'm going to duplicate this. And the only thing that we need for the flying hairs that kind of go around all over the face, like here, for example, this one, or let's go closer, this one, or this one, these flying hairs, they do not need to stick to the surface. So what we can do is, first of all, I'm going to make it thinner. There you go, maybe even thinner than the ones that we already have. And then I'm going to use the snapping tool to snap it onto the sculpt itself, because of course it's hair, so it's supposed to come from the head. So it's supposed to originate from the original hair, you know, the big hair part, the hair base, but it'll not stick to the base. So let's start with these big strands that go around and then back here somewhere. We're going to start off probably somewhere over here. We're going to select this vertex, and to make sure that it's not sticking to the surface, we're going to disable snapping, either clicking on here or pressing Shift and Tab. Now we can just move it over here, and there you go. It is no longer tied, or it's no longer sticking to the surface. Now we can just extrude the same way we did it before and add a nice strand like this. And then it sticks over there. Look at that. We can also change the radius, of course, make it, you know, wobblier or whatever, make it thinner. There you go. That's the first strand that we've added. Let's add more. We can just duplicate this. We can enable snapping again, so it sticks to the surface, this pivot point. Put it over here. Oh, duplicate it, of course. And then what you can also do to make it even more effective is to make sure that, oh, welcome, Grandmaster. Hope you had a great day so far. Thank you, welcome. We're working on this 3D recreation of this 2D sketch. We're working on the hair right now, and I'm explaining a new technique of modeling hair, which includes a few modifiers, and that's it. It is very intuitive in my opinion. Actually, quicker probably than using, you know, curves. Probably dependent on how fast you are and how, I guess, used you are to using curves. The only benefit that curves have right now is that you can basically add bevels to them as well, which you know, if we don't really, I don't really need them here, so it's not really like a big deficit for me right there. But if you're used to using curves with bevels, then that might be, you know, a negative, like a negative aspect for you. Okay, so we're gonna add the second strand. There you go. I'm actually gonna move that over here, make it a little bit wobbly, and then move it all the way back to the surface. Like that. Look at that. That's the second strand. There you go. Very, very simple. It's actually deeper than that. So what we could do is we could just select this and then go over to the proportional editing and move it down. There you go. It was very, very easy to change as well. You don't have to, you know, move any handles or do any of that. You can just move these vertices very, very easily. So there might be a way to actually use, it'll be hard. I was thinking about how you could create this profile or this bevel for these hairs as well. I think the biggest problem is that they're not going to be as, you know, dynamic as the ones for the curves. What you could do is you could probably maybe use a bevel modifier to bevel the edges of just the shrink wrap, which is of course just a cube. That could work, but it could also look horrible. I don't know. We could try it. Let's see what happens. So if we go in here and remove the shrink wrap, I mean the subdivision modifier, we only have the cube. Now if we add a bevel modifier, it looks like this. So now if we increase the segments, we get basically the same that we had for the, what is it? The subdivision, But now what we can do is we can go into Profile, Custom, and then we can create our own custom profile. So what we can do is we could, for example, make it cut right there, there and there, and then we can just move this over here dip, to create this. We can also add more segments to make it smoother. And this way we can also create a profile. The problem could be here. It'll probably not look as good if we make it very small. Yeah, see what happens? It kind of... It changes, like the width type is probably like a wrong one. If we make this part smaller, then this part will be, like the bevel will be smaller. What we could use though is maybe percent. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, it does work. This is probably the best option we can use, percent. Percent basically grabs the whole edge, and then with the percent that you set, right now it's 40, you basically bevel 40% of the length of the edge. So we have this, which is always better, or which is better than using offset. Because now if we bring it back to these original sides, it's not going to change the other size. There you go. And if we make it bigger, it'll stay. This side will stay, but this one will get bigger. There you go. So this one might actually be a good, you know, alternative to the bevel option. You can probably not make it smooth though. That's the biggest problem. Or you cannot, you do not have as much freedom as you would have with the other bevel. But you can create these interesting, you know, shapes. What happens if I go in here and select this and then Control A, X? Oh, that works as well. So you can actually create different shapes, but they, you know, the geometry is kind of scuffed now. That's the biggest problem probably, but you can still only scale on one axis. That's still possible. Okay. Yeah, I guess the biggest difference to curves. The biggest difference to curves would probably be that you cannot twist them. Can you? Hold on, let me see. Wait. Oh, never mind. I don't want to try that now. Let's continue working on this. So we could maybe make a smaller one here. Make it just a bit thinner like this. Maybe only make it actually like a flyer. Just like the hair that is flying. Oh, I have still proportional modeling enabled. There you go. There you go. Just like one more hair added to the stray hairs, I guess. And that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna add more and more and more. We can also make sharp edges by just bringing them closer like this. There you go. And now we have a sharper edge. But of course here is usually quite smooth. So that's what I try to keep here as well. You can also just rotate them if they're very small like this. Kind of saves you some work. I actually want to change this one though. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that... It looks so good in my opinion. And I've never seen anyone used that way. Like, never seen anyone create this sort of, you know. Oh, welcome. And thanks for the follow. Givel Trupunkt, I think. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. I want to spell your name right. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed the stream. If you have any questions or whatever, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. So if you want to have a quick explanation how I you know, develop this new technique, then I can explain it again. But it seems very, very effective, especially for these wild hairstyles. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Give it Up punk. Oh, now I get it. Okay. Okay, yeah. And the good thing is now you can just, by enable snapping again, snap it to the surface, and also just duplicate it, zip, and then maybe just make it smaller or whatever, and add more variations of it. So what I want to do now is I want to do the front first, because the front is going to be the most prevalent part, the most important part in the shot. So let's do that first. Of course, trying to keep the root close to the surface every time, which means I'm going to enable snapping so it snaps to the base of the sculpt. So what we can do is we can put that over there and select these vertices, remove them, and start over from the root. Maybe make this more like a, you know, this one actually goes even further out. Disable snapping so it doesn't snap to the surface. And there you go. There you go. Select a few more, make them thinner. Make this one a very, very thin hair. Like that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There you go. You could never do that with curves that easily. Just extruding and moving, that would never be possible. I mean, you could maybe use these, what are they? The path curves. They work in a similar fashion. Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. You also have just points that move. But what I've discovered is I kind of tried using that one. The biggest difference is that you, first of all, cannot snap these individual, as far as I know at least. Oh, the biggest difference that I wanted to solve, or that I wanted to have, which didn't work with curves, is that you cannot use a shrink wrap modifier. You cannot apply a shrink wrap modifier to a curve, which means you cannot create these strands that go and stick to the surface. That is not possible with curves. That's why I created this new type of modeling in the first place. Or discovered rather, for myself. I don't know if anybody else did it before. Okay, let's add one more here. Make this one a wild one, going up. Maybe a shorter one, there you go. There you go. Look at that. So of course we have a lot of strands. So we kind of have to make sure that we're not, you know, overdoing it. But the overall, you know, the more we do it, the better it's going to look in the end. So we kind of have to find a balance between too much and not enough. Oh, remove snapping for these flying bits. The good thing is these vertices even snap with the snapping tool to other surfaces, not only this sculpt. It snaps to everything, to the hair, I mean the head, to these hairs, to everything basically. And you could even use this technique to create eyelashes. There you go. Make this thinner. There you go. Perfect. Oh. Yeah, I guess the biggest difference between curves and I guess the biggest benefit of curves would be the profile. I would have to try a little bit more, like experiment more with the bevel tool to see if it actually, if we could create custom, you know, what is it? custom profiles, but they wouldn't be as diverse. They couldn't be as diverse as what you could use for curves. But of course, it's not like it has to be in, you know, either or. It can be both. You can use curves with this. So you can create these very, very small strands with this. And then you can create a more, you know, you can create hair with more detail using bevels with curves. So you can combine the two methods. The good thing is if we've been creating some, you know, smaller strands over here, we can also use them in other areas. Just making them a little bit more, you know, varied, changing their position, their rotation. And you don't really see that it's actually a duplicated hair strand. You know, moving it over here, you can see. Does it really look like this one? No, not really. So it works quite well and is quite effective. Moving that over here. Maybe you can also go in here and enable proportional editing to just move a bunch over here to change the shape very broadly. There you go. Maybe even change the size. There you go. Oh, it's going through the head. Okay. Yeah, so if we go back to the topic that we talked about before, right now, this seems like the most logical, you know, technique, and very, very simple, very easy to use and very effective. But maybe there's a big drawback that I haven't discovered yet. Maybe at some point I'll look back, or I discover something and I think like, oh well, that makes so much sense right now. Why did I think of that before? But you know, you have to do it. You have to do the mistake first before you can learn from it. Okay, let's actually add some more that go over, like that follow the main flow. Actually, no, I want to do these on the side first, like these ones that really go far from the main hair. So I'm just going to duplicate this one, put it somewhere over here, enable snapping, there you go. And then maybe go like this. That's the first one. What we can also do, we can scale it up and then go in here and make it thinner. Oh my god, that is so easy. It's almost too easy, it's criminally easy. There you go. Is there a shortcut? Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, disable snapping. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. I'm gonna drink something real quick and then we're gonna continue. Always stay hydrated. What is that? Never seen that icon on my thing before. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, let's add more. Yeah, we have a few more hairs that I want to add over here, especially this wide one. So we can probably just, you know, duplicate another one from here. This one maybe. Enable snapping. Move it, duplicate it. Bring it over here. Disable snapping, and we can rotate it first. bring it back, and then scale it up. There you go. We can then change these individual vertices, or we can press O to disable or enable proportional editing to change multiple vertices. We can also, I think, we can press Shift X to merge them to reduce the amount of vertices that we have. There you go. And there you go. Now it's closer to the shape that we have in the original. Let's do a few more. We can, I especially want to move, like fill some of this spot right here. There's really nothing there. They kind of fly there without any bases, nothing around them. And so it looks kind of weird. So yeah, I have to add a few more to make it look a little bit more believable. Oh, hold on. Shift tab. There you go. Shift tab. O. No, without that. O in here. O is already enabled. There you go. Look at that. It's so easy. It's almost criminal how easy this is. Okay. You know, this is like one of those times that I just am excited to have found like a new way to do something better than before. You know, when you discover something that just makes your life a whole lot easier. That's one of those things. I never liked using curves for hair. This will make it so much easier. There you go. Look at that. Oh, it's a little bit too big. Oh, it's a little bit too big. Why don't we select this one? And then we press O, and then we just move all of it over here. Oh, how convenient. There you go. Oh, it's too high. Oh no, let's move it down. There you go. Okay. Yeah, we need some more over here. Right now they're still flying around. There's nothing around it, so we need to add more. Now that we have a few variations, it's very easy to just add more. We'll just duplicate them and then use the proportional editing to move all, like multiple vertices. So this way we don't have to fine tune every single one. We can add these big strands very, very easily and shape them very, very easily without, having to do much. Look at that. It's already a very unique strand without having to create a new one. There you go. Rotate it. This one is kind of twisted, but we can still move it. There you go. Bend it over. There you go. Wait, where did I... Oh, we have so many planes. Hold on. My list is so full. Can you see this? Oh no, we have so many new planes. I have to put them in a separate collection, otherwise we're just gonna get lost. So hold on. How can I select them? I guess I can just select this plane. That's the first one, okay. Put all these into the Geometry 2 collection, which I'm gonna call Hair Strands. Oh. There you go. Easy peasy. Okay, let's add more. How, where, and why? Maybe we could use this one. Put it over here. We just have to make sure that we're not moving the pivot point or the vertex that is part of the, or lying on top of the pivot point. Otherwise it'll look like it'll be removed from the surface and we cannot duplicate this hair anymore. What we can also make sure of is we can make this one actually smaller so that it looks like it is just a single hair coming out of this other bunch of hair, like this. Okay. Oh, and the best part, we could basically just select all of these. There you go. Oh, welcome Bleed or BL33T. Thank you for following. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And welcome. We are working on modeling the hair. And I've developed a new technique to model hair, which I'm showing off right now. It is very, very easy and very, very effective. I'm celebrating the speed right now. You could see it right there. I'm just creating these small little strands to add more detail to kind of get closer to the sketch. You can see the current, situation right there. And moving that over here. It is very easy to even just move these strands closer to the hair. And then, oh no, I just want to move this vertex. Well, press O to remove proportion editing and move it to the base of the hair. So you can not only fine tune, but everything, you can also move everything together. There you go. And we've just created a bunch of new hairs. We have a few, oh no, we actually don't. Perfect. Oh, well, I want to move this root. Oh, that's pretty easy. We're just going to move it over here. There you go. Easy peasy. This is going to be so helpful in the future. This is going to make my hair modeling workflow so much easier. There you go. Spread them out a little bit more. Okay. I don't want to overcrowd this hair, so I'm going to move them apart, like, spread them out a little bit more. Otherwise, they're just going to look like, I don't know, like a dead bush rather than hair. There you go. Let's do it on this side now, on the other side. Let's create a few more on this side that we can then duplicate. There you go, move it over here. Right there. Remove snapping, rotate it, and then go in here. And proportion editing, move it over here. You can dynamically change how many vertices you want to include into the transformation. And there you go. Let's put one down here. I want to make like a huge one, just curls around the sideburn basically. There you go. Rotate it back, and then yeah, we can just move it over here. Perfect. That's almost yeah, that's perfect basically. Having too much fun with this. This is too easy. Imagine doing this with curves. That would take so much longer. Oh my god. Okay. There you go. Rotate them. Oh wow, they even if you enable snapping, they even select the individual pivot points, because we have enabled project individual elements. If we disable that, it'll use the midpoint between the two particles. I mean, pivot points. So enabling this makes sure that everything sticks to the surface, not like the midpoint of all these selected objects. There you go. This is pretty rough right now. Let's see what it looks like here. There are a lot of lines here, so I can't really see what's going on there. I think I'm gonna add some more here in the front, and then we're gonna go to the back. I guess we could just duplicate these ones and use those ones as well, again. So, snapping, remove, move it over here, rotate it, there you go. Very easy, very simple. Go to proportion editing and move them around. Oh, I only want to move one vertex. I mean, I only want to move one hair. Well, select this one and then go in here and then move it back. Very easy, very simple. Almost too easy. Yeah, once in a while I find one of these huge paradigm shifts, I guess, in my workflow that just make everything easier. I remember it was the same with my internet connection, actually. So right now we're all in home office, so I'm working from home. And at some point, so we have laptops or MacBooks at work that we can just take home and then work with those. Everything is set up so we can just connect to the local, I guess, server at work, so we can still transfer everything if we need something off the server. And my mom at some point asked me, hey, do you by any chance have bad internet right now? And I was like, let me do a speed test. Then I did a speed test, and I had something like, I think like 80 or so gigabyte download. And then I told her that, and I was kind of confused, because usually when I was doing my work on my current PC that I'm working on, like my home PC, I always had very, very low internet, like a very, very low internet speed. I always thought like, okay, well, that's just how it is, I guess. I think I had like 13 or so. And so, or maybe 30, I can't remember. We have a 100 gigabyte download connection. And so I was kind of confused, like, oh, what's going on here? Like, how is that possible? Like, how could this MacBook that is connected via like remote connection without any cable? No, it was actually the same cable that I've used for the PC. So I switched from the PC to the laptop, and I used the exact same internet connection for the laptop. So it couldn't be possible that the laptop just has a way higher internet speed. So I was kind of confused, like, what is going on here? So I did some investigation, like, and what I discovered was that there might be Windows settings that could decrease the speed of your internet connection. So I did some more digging, and I found this program that can basically scan your PC and solve these issues for you. So I did and somebody in the forum where I found it kind of told like, oh well, this works actually. I'm like an actual internet worker. Sounds weird. Like the people that actually have know what they're doing when it comes to internet connections and all that stuff. So he didn't even know what he was supposed to do. He had no other options. So he tried this program, and it actually worked. So I thought to myself, like, well, why not try it? There's nothing to lose. And wait, what is the program called again? Oh, I should probably save now. Gotta make a new save. So the program's called TCP Optimizer. If you start it up, it's gonna open a small window, and that small window will show you a few options on how you could modify the window settings when it comes to internet settings, whatever. And to make it idiot proof, I guess, they also included a small section at the bottom that basically just says, there's a button that says set optimal settings. You click on that, and then there's this script running, or this registry or whatever, that just tells you what's happening, and then until that is done, you just wait for like, I don't know, maybe not even a minute, and then it's done, and then it says like done, and then all the settings are like set up how you want it to set up, or how it's optimally set up. Then I restart, or I do another speed test, and then I didn't have 13 gigabyte download. I had, I think, 85 or so. So I gained basically over 50 gigabyte more download speed by just, you know, letting this program run through my settings and change a few. And, you know, I've been working on this PC for like multiple years now, and I never really, you know, thought about that, like this problem. And it's been lurking there for so long, and now I actually just, you know, it's this meme basically, download more RAM, but this one is basically just download this program to get more internet speed, and it actually works. So I was quite shocked that it actually worked, but you know, now I have like so much more internet speed, so it actually was pretty good. I can only recommend that program, and it's actually free, so you don't even have to pay for it. I actually tweeted out when I did it that this program is like super good. There you go. The front looks good, I think, so let's go a little bit further back and add some more there. Oh wow, how do we add more to the back? Why don't we just select all of these? Hold on, can I do that? Yeah, I can just click them, I guess. Oh wow, we have a few more strands selected. Let's just go and enable snapping and then duplicate them and move them back here. Isn't that easy? There you go. Oh, where is it? Oh wait, I moved it all the way down there. There you go. Oh wow, what a convenience. It's so easy. There you go. Yeah, and that's the story of how I, after multiple, I think like 6 years or so, just quadrupled my internet speed. And that was also one of those moments where I'm just where I was just so excited to have figured out like this maybe not problem, but you know, those are the best sort of problems to fix. The problems that you didn't even know that you had. You know, you try something, you do something, and you fix a problem that you didn't even know you had. You realize that you have the problem, and then you just are so excited that you actually solve it without ever having to struggle with it. It was there, but you never realized it. Those are the best problems to fix. Oh, okay. I remember, I think at some point I actually Googled whether or not I could download more RAM when I was younger. Oh, I actually have a RAM story as well. So, at some point, my PC died. I had a lot of blue screens. I was working on a project in Blender, and at some point I just discovered like, oh wow, I get so many blue screens all of a sudden, and then the frequency increased more and more and more and more until at some point I couldn't even start Windows properly. So it would start blue screen, it would start blue screen, and then at some point it didn't even start properly. It didn't do anything. It just, you know, stood. It did nothing. So you could do this Windows recovery, I guess, executable, where you basically create a backup of your current Windows file, or you can also go back to a previous backup. I only had one backup that I've done at some point. I don't know when. I think maybe that was like a, I don't know, basic setup, or like a basic backup that I haven't even created, but it was like an automatic backup. So I grabbed that one and tried again, but it didn't work. I still had all these blue screens. So I basically was screwed, because now I destroyed my backup. I don't have any backups anymore. And I also didn't fix the problem that I had. So now I'm sitting there and I need to find a solution for the problem. And in the process of me trying to find a solution, I basically destroyed my PC. So what happened was I couldn't even like open up Windows anymore. There was no backup to use, so it was basically screwed. I had to reinstall, I guess, clean the PC without using Windows, which is of course way over my skill level. Difficulty is too high. So I asked my dad if he knew somebody. No, my dad actually said like, oh well, I have someone that might be able to help you. So we gave that PC to him, and he was a very busy man. So it took probably so he did it for free just because, you know, my father, and it took a while to finish. I think multiple months before I could use my PC again. So I would, you know, do whatever I could. I think, oh yeah, I actually that was the time where I used my Nintendo Switch probably the most. I just downloaded, like, I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and just played that the whole time until I got my PC back, because I couldn't, you know, I couldn't play any games. I had no PC, so I couldn't do anything basically. So I waited and waited and waited, and then at some point he got it done. I got my PC back, and yeah, everything was basically fine. I was working on my blend files, everything was good. But then the blue screens came back. So after the blue screens came back, I was kind of investigating more. So I did some more digging, and of course when you get a blue screen you always get the same sort of error message. So I kind of did some digging, did some forum reading, tried to find a solution for my problem, and I actually found a solution. The solution was that there is a corrupt or a damaged RAM stick in there. So I grabbed the RAM stick, or I had only 2 in there, which means I just have to remove one, see if there's any blue screens. Then I have to exchange the 2 and try again. And lo and behold, one of them was actually damaged. So I bought new ones, and yeah, so I went to a website, bought the exact same model again, and they came probably, I don't even know, pretty quickly off of this website that I didn't really know. I don't know, like, buying PC parts seems to be always on these weird websites. I don't really know if you can do it on Amazon. I didn't really check, but those were like the earliest, like the recommended website that I've found by just Googling. So I chose those, and yeah, they arrived. The problem The problem was that I didn't read the description. I was always confused why every retailer that I tried to buy it off of would only sell one. Why would you only sell one RAM card? I want to have two, because I wanted to exchange. I wanted to change both. So I tried to buy two, of course. What I didn't realize, and I didn't read the description, was that in every order or in every package there are two RAM sticks included. And me, not knowing about it, bought or found a retailer that actually sold two at the same time, which means I got four RAM sticks. So now I don't have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have 32. So that's another funny story of how I guess upgraded my PC by trying to fix a blue screen error. That was definitely a wild story. I think I played through Breath of the Wild, and then even through parts of the DLC before I got my PC back. So that was torture. I mean, it was still enjoyable, but you know, I would have liked to work some more on my Blender projects. Okay, so see how crowded it already is. This already looks quite good, very close to the one that we have here, like very wild. We still need to add more, so we've basically now finished this side. We're gonna go all around, give every side some love, and then we're gonna go to the bun as well, add some more over there, and that's basically the whole process of the hair. First layer being the sculpt, second layer being these hair strands sticking to the surface of the sculpt, and then these flying hairs, which are very, very easy to apply. And of course, the more we have, the easier it is to duplicate them and just use them. Zip. Oh, we have the whole front right there. Why don't we just... Oh wait, those are the wrong ones. I actually also included the ones that stick to the surface. Hold on. I have to unselect them. Deselect, unselect, deselect. There you go. Oh, there's one more. There you go. There you are. So now I can just duplicate this, rotate it. We have to bring it back to median point. There you go. And bring it over here. And there you go. We have way more strands without doing almost anything. Now, once we have them all aligned, we can just go in here, enable snapping, and then press G, and they're all sticking to the surface. Easy peasy. And there you go. Look at that. So easy. It can be so easy. These ones kind of go through the sculpt, so we kind of have to fix them, but that shouldn't take too long. There you go. Do we have more that stick through? I think so. Do we? Doesn't seem like it. Looks quite well. Okay, nice. We have this hole in the center right there, so we can just, you know... Oh, there's one more. So we can just duplicate a few of these, or we can also grab one, like a few from the front here, maybe these ones. There you go. Duplicate and bring them to the back. There you go. Easy peasy. We have a few free-flying boys over here as well, as you can see, so we're gonna add those as well. So this one could be one, like this. Da-da-da. We had one more that we copied. Which one is it? I can't see it. This one? Probably. And of course we can always just extend them if we need more custom strands. There you go. It is so simple and so easy. There you go. Oh, they're a little bit too far in. I kind of want to see the silhouette over here. There you go, perfect. Okay. Perfect. So let's copy some more over here. We could probably do some more work down here though. So what I'm just going to do is just going to select these ones that hang down, and we can duplicate them and move them over here as well. First, we're going to align them like this, and then we position them, we enable snapping, and then zip, they're all right on the surface. We can fine tune them, of course, if we want. There you go. And it's just that easy. Look at that. So much hair. So I guess there's even a better way to do this. So right now I'm just duplicating them using Shift and D. The biggest problem with that is that you create a duplicate, no, an unlinked duplicate, which means if you go in here and we can duplicate this real quick. So if we just look at this strand and we press Shift D, we have a unlinked duplicate, which means if we go in here and change anything in this object, for example, what we could do is we could, I don't know, remove the shrink wrap modifier. Zip. Wait, no, the skin modifier. Now there's no skin anymore. You know, there's no volume anymore. But it doesn't affect this duplicate. What we can do though is we can select these two and then Control L, make links, link object data. Now if I do the same, wait, hold on, was that the right one? No, link, wait, no, okay, so the easiest way to do that would probably be not doing it in retrospect, but rather doing it with Alt D, and that is a linked duplicate, which now hopefully, okay, apparently that doesn't work, but what does work is that they're connected. So okay, well, okay, my plan actually didn't work. Okay, I'll you know, I was wrong. Sorry for wasting your time. So I tried to find a solution where I can link all these hair strands together so that when I change this skin modifier, all the skin modifier and all the other hairs change as well. That is helpful for the resolution of this hair, for example. This subdivision modifier right here adds more geometry to each individual hair strand. So if you want to reduce it, you can just go in here and reduce the viewport level. Now it's at 1. And if you see down here the vertices, you can see that the viewport, I mean, if just removing or lowering the level of viewport, you can see it lowers the vertices the vertice amount as well, from 1,284,000 to 1,268,000. So I wanted to link all these strands so that when I change one of them, all of them change. I guess the closest we can get to that would be to change one of them to a lower level viewport, and then if we select all of the other hairs, highlight this hair, and then we can link the modifiers. That basically copies the settings of this hair to all the others as well. So if we lower the level viewport in here, and then we link the modifier settings to all the others as well, all the others will have reduced geometry as well, or resolution. Go. Okay. Let's save it. Haven't done that in a long time. I actually lost some progress yesterday, so I don't want to repeat that mistake again. Oh, I don't want to copy this one. This one's too long. Oh, no, hold on. Okay. Oh, okay. There you go. Let's go all around the hair first, and then we can maybe, yeah, we can go over here. So let's duplicate a few of these ones just to add some more detail to. Oh, what is this one? Oh, this one actually sticks to the hair. Hold on. There you go. Duplicate these ones. Move them over here. And fill this spot a little bit more. We go into snapping and G. And there you go. Now they all snap to the surface. We have a small hole right there. So I'm just gonna, duplicate a few, I guess. This one maybe. There you go. Okay. Let's go over this part now. Just gonna duplicate them again. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay. Yeah, let's do a few first. And the good thing is, the more, I guess, individual ones you have, the easier it is to create variations by just duplicate them like a different, order, or, combining multiple different hairs together. You can create a different variation every time. Oh, snapping. There we go. They're quite, a lot of them are inside, so I'm going to move them out. And then I can move them back in by going in here, selecting all the ends and moving them closer over here. This one's sticking out quite a lot, so I'm gonna move it down. There you go. There you go, perfect. This one is kind of weird. Hold on. Maybe we can move it down like this. Okay. I actually have some... There's not really that much messiness, I guess, on this side, so I want to add some more. I guess we can just choose one of those and put that down here. Create some more of that mess that I'm craving. There you go. Yeah, that was missing. There was just nothing down here. There you go. Yeah, I think that's okay. Well, let's add one more. Let's add one more. This one. No, hold on. I want to have like this bow, this curve, this bow shape. This one looks quite a... No. This one. Yeah, this one looks good. Of course, you can duplicate curves as well, but you could still probably have to adjust every single one of them, which is of course a huge headache. Which you don't have with this technique. So another plus. Yeah, that's way better now. Okay. Let's continue in the back. This one looks pretty good already. So let's continue with this part right here. You know what? I'm just going to duplicate these ones. There you go. Move them back. And put them on the surface. Maybe down here somewhere. Let me adjust them first so they don't like go in all directions. There you go, kind of combing them. Enabling snapping, and there you go. And then we can tailor them to our needs. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use this technique more and more and more, especially for these quick sketches, because you know, creating hair with this technique is so fast that it's, you know, I don't know what argument you could give me to make me use the curves again. This is just too easy. Or even hair particles. Hair particles are such a mess sometimes, especially for these. Well, for this that would be a nightmare to set up. I actually tried using hair particles at some point, trying to experiment with hair particles and simulations, basically just using like forces to move the hair in a certain direction. But that only really works for, I guess, the main flow of the hair. Creating these, you know, smaller hairs that go in all directions doesn't really work with forces. Or at least not as far as I know or have tried. Okay. You know, we can just select these hairs and duplicate them to the other side. There you go. And now we've immediately increased the density on this side. There you go. Look at that. Easy peasy. It couldn't be easier. Let's save it right there. Okay, so we have this batch, and then we can go to the big boy over there. I'm gonna drink something real quick and stay hydrated, everybody. Okay, let's continue. Oh hey, I need a lot of hair on this side. Let me just grab all of these. There you go. Let's duplicate them. Move them over here. And rotate them. There you go. This one as well. Are that all of them? Yep, they are. Oh, I don't need you. Oh no, hold on. I said I don't need you, please. Okay, and then snapping enabled, and there you go. How convenient. Efficiency. Ever heard of it? There you go. What is you doing? Sir, I need you to be closer to the hair. There you go. That's better. Still wild, but I'll allow it. There you go. We almost filled this emptiness over here as well. We can probably add some more. There you go. That was easy. Oh, we are actually caught one of those strands. There you go. Okay, perfect. Look at that. Oh, wow, we need more down there. Why don't we grab those and put them to the other side? Maybe change their shape a little bit, and then we have a whole new variation. Wait, what did you say? You want to change the shape? Yeah, just enable proportion editing, and there you go. I'm enjoying this far too much. This is way too easy. Give me something hard. I mean, this is probably also the easiest hairstyle to use it on. Just because it's so messy that you don't really have to, you know, pay attention too much to the flow of the hair. Okay, let's do the bun now. Let's start with these ones. There you go. Space them out a little bit more. Snap them to the surface. Maybe rotate them out if they're inside of the sculpt. And then we can go in here and shape them to whatever you want them to look like. I think this this technique will definitely be a video. It's too good. Gonna make a video out of this. The new best way to model model hair. There you go. Save hundreds of hours modeling hair. There you go. There you go. Even more detail on this side. Of course, we're not done yet. We have to do a few more, but we're damn close. See how much more, I guess, volume the hairstyle gets just by adding these smaller hairs. They don't really have that much volume in themselves, but combined in this silhouette, they actually create way more, like create another layer of volume that really adds to the realism and also to the size. That's probably one thing that you kind of have to keep in mind when doing this, yeah, when modeling with this technique, or overall basically. That the base layer shouldn't be too big. You always have to reduce it a little bit. The base layer shouldn't define the silhouette, the size, but it should rather just set the, you know, the shape, the base flow of the hair, of the main hair, that the rest of the hairs can follow. You can see right here, I'm trying to shape these smaller hairs still in the way that they follow the main flow, basically coming from here all the way around into this this bun right there. So even though they're kind of you know, deviating from the main strands, they're still following the main flow in a certain way. Okay, we're almost done. Just a few more. Let's use these smaller ones maybe here. Over here, rotating them, of course. Zip. There you go. Of course, I guess the biggest downside to using these hairs is that you cannot really use the hair shader that is in Blender. That is only reserved for the, I guess, the hair particles, I think. That's the only way they really work well. But you can still create a believable hair shader even without using that shader. It's just very convenient to use that one. But it's not really necessary. There you go. Now we've covered this part as well. We have a little bit over here left, I think, and then we have like this top part and back here, which shouldn't take too long. Let's just grab a few up here. Oh, that's the long boy. We don't need the long boy. Oh, hello. There you go. We only need these few. Put them over here. Reposition them. There you go. Look at that. Reshape them. There you go. Wait, is this one actually on the surface? Yeah, it is. Let's put it in two more over here. We're getting close to the finish line with these hairs. There you go. Looking pretty good. Okay. So let's put in a few over here as well. Kind of, you know, going on top. We can just grab them from over here. There you go. Actually, yeah. Yeah, these ones, perfect. Put them over here. Snapping, positioning, and grooming. So with this technique, hair modeling actually is actually quite fun. I didn't know that I would ever say that, but this technique makes it actually quite fun because it's so fast and so, you know, so intuitive and so dynamic, I guess. I don't know, it's just so easy and so yeah, it's just fun. Didn't know I would ever say that. So far I've always resented having to do hair. But this one changed my mind. This hair modeling technique changed my mind about hair modeling. Find out why. There you go. yeah, there you go. Perfect. I think that's all we need. Of course, we can always add more, but I think that looks already quite good. So what we can do now, that we have a little bit more time left, we can actually do the same with the sushi or with the noodles. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab this and use this as noodles as well. What I want to do first, I want to go in here and sculpt this, make this a little bit more detailed so that we can then build on top of it. We're going to set the dynamic topology to 50, and we go in here and add some more detail. There you go. What we can also do is we can basically use this as the base to build stuff on top of, and then we can remove the base to only have these individual noodles, which will probably look even better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this actually pretty smooth and pretty thin. The problem is I have to add more geometry so that it's not getting too thin. Like this. Yeah. There you go. Just for the base. And then we can add more free flying, I guess, noodles later. There you go. So that's the base. We're going to make it a little bit smaller, smooth it a little bit more. There you go. And then we're going to go back to layout, and we're going to use the hair model as a noodle. I'm going to go, actually no. You know what? Now I'm going to go back to sitting. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself for a second. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to save first, just to be sure, just to be safe. There you go. Make it thinner. I think that's a good noodle size, right? Like this? That sounds good. Sounds good to me. They all, of course, originate from her mouth. They all hang off her mouth or out of her mouth, so we can have to, you know, start all of them over here. We can then move them further in later, but right now we just, you know, place them on the surface. Well, that's a long noodle. Okay, and there you go. Then we can just go in here and place this right there. This is actually too big, I think, so we're going to make it a little bit thinner, like this. Perfect. There you go. That's the first noodle. Let's zoom in on that noodle so we can see him, or the noodles, multiple ones, of course. Hello? Why can I not? Oh. There we go. Start over. Oh, hello. You're not supposed to stick to the neck. There you go. Nope, not again. There you go. That's the second noodle. Look, that looks like immediately way better. So with the noodles, that could actually represent like more kept hair, because they are more straight, more smooth, rather than this very, like, you know, messy stuff that we have going on up there. These ones are actually quite straight down. Okay, there you go. Of course, they intersect right now, but we can fix that later by just, you know, removing the sculpt and then only having these noodles left and then changing the shape or moving them out of each other. I'm going to spread them out first to kind of, you know, establish a good flow from all directions. And then we can go closer into, you know, more the ones in between. We can also extend them later. We can see some of them like going in all directions. This is right now just like a small batch. We can just go into them again and extend them even more if we need to. There you go. Oh, hello. Give me the noodle, please. I need the noodle. There you go. The noodle. There you go. Remove these ones. Remove the vertices, and there you go. What we can also do is we can kind of imitate what we have right there by just moving them back up. Woo! Filling this spot a little bit more. There you go. Look at that. Looks way more like noodles already. Yeah, I like it. There's one more thing that I want to try. We're going to do that at the end. So in roughly 10 minutes. So just to see what it looks like now without the sculpt itself. Let's see, it's probably still pretty empty, but see, it already looks pretty good. We just have to add more. There you go. Just adding more and more and more to populate. Oh, hello. This area some more, or like, you know, just create some more noodles. There you go. Of course, the more we intersect, the more we have to fix. Another option we could, or another alternative to fixing it would be to just, you know, just hide it under another noodle. That could work as well. Let's do another turnaround, going back up to switch things up. Fill some more space with the same noodle. That's how we do it. There you go. The good part about the snapping tool is, as I said before, that they can just go over each other, which is very, very convenient in these parts here. See, now they can just go over each other. They don't really necessarily need to intersect. And then once we have the base, we can create these deviating noodles as well. These rebellious noodles. Come on, there you go. Let's make another turnaround here. Pull it back up. Cannot have enough of those. And there you go. Finish it off. Okay, let's remove the sculpt once more just to see. Yeah, look at that. Looks perfect. It still looks too clean because we don't have these deviating noodles, but we can, you know, we can add them soon. So there's one thing that I want to try now. Let's save it right there. So we have all these strands and noodles in the same collection. So we can now right click on the collection. Oh, hello. And say select objects. Now everything is selected. This way we can select everything. Who would have guessed? So now if we go in here and select this strand, we go into, oh, hold on, that doesn't work. At least not for all of them. How could I separate this? I guess I just select the ones that stick to the surface first. Like that. There you go. Do we have more? We have a few more over there. So we select all of those first, and now 35 is the one that we don't want to select. Okay, up to 34 we can select all of them, except for this one as well. So We're going to go in here and we're going to select this one first, which is plane number 001. We're going to go in here and we're going to change the subdivision level to 1. Then we're going to select everything up to 34, right? 34. Everything selected. The ones that we've changed is still highlighted. Now look at the vertice count. Control L. Link modifiers. We went 200,000 vertices down. Let's do that for the rest as well. So we have everything 34 and up, right? Yeah. Let's choose 35 and decrease the subdivision level as well from 2 to 1. And then we select everything that is, you know, after 35. And we're going to deselect the noodles. There you go. Now if we do the same, link modifiers. Hold on. Look at that. 1,839,000. Link modifiers. 968,000. We almost removed 1 million vertices. And it still looks the exact same. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're gonna, you know, work on these noodles some more. Let's bring back the arm. There you go. So that's the current status. The only thing we'll really need to add is basically like hair for her eyebrows, some eyelashes, which would be pretty simple. What is it? You know, this thing right there. And then we just need to detail the noodles a little bit more. But we've discovered a new technique on how you could model hair, which is very, very effective, very, very fast, and very, very easy, and actually very, very fun. So all in one. The only difference is you cannot use a bevel modifier, or you could use it. Let me see what that looks like. So if we go in here and use a, let's go to here. We need to remove the subdivision modifier, hide it, and then we bring in a bevel modifier. Let's set this to remove smooth shading for a second. Increase the segments maybe to 5. Set it to percent. 40%. No, let's set it to 50. Yeah, let's set it to 50. And then we go to profile, custom. And we can make this even more detailed. The possibilities are endless. I mean, almost. We could even make this smooth again. See? And it still keeps the structure. So what we could do, for example, is we could go in here, make this sharp. Like this. We need one more. Look at that. And then look at the curve. I mean the hair. We have even more structure in there. Of course, the end looks kind of scuffed. That's the biggest problem with this technique. But even in this, you know, sort of way, you can create a sort of profile. Then you can link it to all the other. Let's try that. What was it? 34, right? 34. This one. All the way down to 1. Highlight. Wait. Oh. Well, that doesn't work. Let's choose the other one. Let's save it first. So let's look at the vertices. We can see it increases quite a lot. That's the biggest problem with the bevel modifier. Actually, it doesn't affect it too much. Let's see. So if we select all the ones from 35 and up. Scroll, scroll, scroll. There you go. Then we can link We can see the profile right there. We can link modifiers. Let's see, 1,099, 1,499. So it still adds like a lot more, of course. But now even these bad boys have a certain structure to them. Look at that. So we can now, you know, of course, customize it more and make it look more like we want it to look like. Give it even more structure. Make it look like these are all just smaller batches of hair sticking together. Yeah, that's what you could do as well. But I'm gonna remove that because I don't need it right here. Hair is usually, of course, round. I mean, you know, circular. So I don't really need this bevel on here. There you go. Remove that and then remove it from here as well. And bring back the subdivision. There you go. Perfect. That's what we have right now. Let's actually look at that in rendered view. Oh. We can go into the shader object world. And then we can go into here. We can plug that into the background lighting. We need an HDRI. Hold on, do I have? There it is, perfect. Look at that. That looks good. I like it. Let's look at a few more. Yeah, look at that. That looks great. Yeah. I like it. The pose might not be perfect when you compare it. See? Maybe the head is actually a little bit too small. But overall, I think that looks quite well. Quite good. Again, hold on, we can probably change the size, can we? Oh. I guess that works. Doesn't look too bad, in my opinion. Just increase the head size a little bit. I think that's okay. Perfect. Yeah, so we basically added all of this today in roughly 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. How long do we do this now? Yeah, 3 hours. That's quite impressive in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm good. I'm just saying the technique is very effective. So let's end it right there. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, take care.